mesilat yesharim, Perek Gimel, third Perek. And we continued from last time, page 63. The topic of Zahirut. How important is to be careful and vigilant about our life and about our future. And what Ramchal Haramosha Chaim Lusato suggested us is that life is not as clear or as straight as we think. You have to watch out, because Olam Hazeh is Ha'elem, is covered up, and you can't tell the truth or see the truth with your naked eyes unless you use Hishpon HaNefesh, your calculation, to see what's wrong, what's right, and find out and research about the truth in life. And we are lucky enough that Baruch Hashem has gave us hints and ideas, Torah, Mitzvot, to tell us Derech Yeshara, the right path. But as we know, we have Bechira Chofshi. We have freedom of choice. In a minute, we can go off track because our ta'avut, our desires, the gravity inside us push us to different directions, to different truth in life. And sometimes we believe in it and we follow it. So this is what Ramchal is suggesting. ואומנם מהי העצה שהם נותנים לנו? What is the best idea that you can get from so many sources that Hashem has given us, from Tzadikim, Gedolim, Avot Kedoshim, Torah, Talmidei Hachamim, Rabbanim? What good advice can you get? Bo Heshvon, by weighing all our actions, as explained above, to have schedule, what to do and what to say and how to do the next step. Because we can have a ta'ana, we can have a claim that, you know what, isn't it Hashem already decided my future, my destiny? So whatever happens is based on his decision. Then why should I work hard, try to change direction, try to calculate? I have no power over Hashem's decision. So my life is based on his decision. So why should I have Cheshbon HaNefesh if he's already decided for me what to be and how to be? And this is what Ramchal is trying to teach us. On the contrary, unless you don't do Hashbon HaNefesh calculation in life, you don't appreciate Hashem's decision. In order to appreciate and accept and to obey Hashem's decision in our life, We need to have Hishwan HaNefesh.
What is the meaning?
Hishwan HaNefesh, we said, weighing all our actions, Hesab Rasi, Sanjish, that we should think twice. Is it good for me? Should I do it? And once I do my research and have Cheshbon, then I could appreciate what Hashem decided for me. Because I know I did my homework and I see this is the best furniture that I could have at home. This is the best company that I could buy from. This is the best recipe or medication that I could use. Once I do my homework, I do Hishbon, I do everything based on calculation, then yes, I appreciate. And this is the epidemic of our generation. What is it? Not pandemic, not corona. What's the epidemic of our generation? That we are replacing ourselves with devices. We don't decide for ourselves anymore. We let the devices decide for us. We rather to have a smartphone, smart TV, smart fridge, smart washer machine, and not smart brain. We don't calculate anymore. We let the devices around us to decide and to calculate what is good for us. Everything now is a smart car, smart, and we're losing our smartness, and we rather a smart device than the smart person. And you might laugh, but people are more devoted to their iPad and to their smart devices than their family and friends. All you need to do, just take away their phone from them. They are lost. They feel they lost someone. They sit Shiva days Avelut. My phone, my data, my information, my contacts, because this phone was their brain, was deciding for them, calculating for them. They even don't have to open the window to see the weather. Only whatever the phone says. Weather is good, okay, I'm good today. Whatever the phone says, I go based on that. I have no comment. I have no sense of calculation to understand myself. And this is what, unfortunately, we're going through. I'm sure so many articles and so many research is done on Alzheimer that at certain age, especially old age, people start to forgetting. But you will be surprised, even though with those researchers that are warning and threatening the old age, listen, Alzheimer, this, that, it, olive oil, have this, have that, this way you will be safe from Alzheimer and this and that. They don't know these multitasking devices that are introducing in our life, they are taking away our memory. No one anymore memorized anyone's phone number, everything on the phone. Today, I asked someone, what is your wife's phone number? He had to check his phone to see what is the phone number. Speed dialing, saved memory, because we are giving break to our brain. Don't work too much. Don't be so smart. There is a smartphone, smart TV, smart this, smart that, smart light, smart Alexa, smart thermostat. You don't have to do anything. And this is what mesilat yesharim Ramhan to begin with of any tikkun hamidot, any self-improvement you want to do. Don't lose your smartness, means hishbon hanefesh. You have to always evaluate and appraise and calculate to decide, should I or not? Is it good or not? Is it safe or not? Is it kosher or not? Always calculate. And that's why Jews, doesn't matter religious or not religious, compared to other nations, kind of, they have a little bit higher IQ. Why? Because they're always in calculation. They don't feel secure enough, welcome enough everywhere. So they have to calculate. Should I do this? Should I live here? Should I buy this? Should I eat that? Always, constantly, we have something to calculate. Is not everything free and open to us. We have to always come up with the different options. Plan B. You know, United States going through many challenges in these past 5-6 years. Have you ever heard Chinese people, Greek people, Italian people to say, oh, America, United States, the way that economy and the government and this and that going on, let's go back to Italy. Let's go back to China. Let's go back to Greece. They don't say, you don't find any other nation more worried than Jews in any challenges in any country. They are the one, all of a sudden they will decide, you know what, I think we got to leave. Hey, you just came here 40 years ago after revolution. No, we have to leave. But you know, before that, they were Italian here. They are living, they are not worried about anything. They don't want to go back to Italy. Jews are different. Always they have to come up with a plan B. And this is what Ramchal is saying. That's true. Our plan B actually is Olam Haba. Always we have to come with a plan B. Olam Hazeh is not my place. I'm gonna handle Olam Haba, plan B. Hishbon hanefesh. Through calculation, through evaluating every step before we take. And this is what Torah is based on 2 steps. Lishmor v'la'asot. Lishmor, to keep, to observe. La'asot, to do. We have certain misvot, lo ta'aseh, don't do, hold on. And we have certain misvot, aseh, go ahead, do it. You cannot just stick with aseh, do it, go ahead. No, we have lishmor v'la'asot. Before any la'asot, since beginning of mesilat yesharim, Ramchal been warning us, there is a zehirut, there is a lishmor before any la'asot. You have to have plan B before you start plan A. Before you say something, you have to think what not to say. Before you eat something, you have to think not what not to eat. Before you make any decision, you have to think which decision not to make. There is always lishmor, then la'asot, zehirut, and then zerizut. And you know, the responsibility of zehirut is much more than zerizut. The responsibility of lo ta'aseh, lishmor, is more than la'asot. That's why how many mitzvot of lo ta'aseh we have? Rabbi, how many mitzvot of lo ta'aseh we have?
440.
You sure? Shasa Gidim, 365. These are mitzvot lo ta'aseh. How many mitzvot aseh we have? 248. So more than what we have job to do, we have job not to do. Zehirut comes before zerizut. And unless we don't do hishmon and nefesh, we cannot keep our eyes open to be careful not to do anything wrong. Bo un hashev cheshbono shel olam ki gevarhem nisu vera'u veyadu. Because with so many role models that we have in our life, in our generation, in past generation, in Torah, in the history, so many role models that we have, Rabbanim, Avot Kedoshim, Sadiqim, that they already did it. They went through it. They did their own research and now giving us the result. Ki kebarhem nisu vera'u veyadu sheze levado hu haderech ha'amiti lahagia adam el hatova asher hu mevakesh velo zorat zot. Do you think if me and you wanted to come up with a remedy or with a cure or with a vaccine, with any solution for this COVID, how much money we had to spend if me and you wanted to come to solve our own problem? How much knowledge, how many years of research, how many already they are doing it for us? Those who already studied, who spend time, spend money, spend effort, researchers, so many people involved, they already did it. Here, this is Tylenol, this is vaccine, this is aspirin, this is that. They just giving us the result. Our Sadiqim that we had in life and in the history, they already did the research. They are just giving us the Tylenol. Be careful. Do hishman and nefesh, zehirut. We don't have to go through it in our life to find out at the end, oh, you're right, I should have been more careful. They are telling us already. They did all the researchers. They are giving us free vaccine. Hashem is giving us free vaccine. Be careful. Cheshbon HaNefesh. Don't jump into any conclusion. Don't be independent. Be part of the Torah legacy. If Avot Kedoshim, Abraham, Isaac, Yaakov, Yosef and brothers, and everyone, Moshe, Aharon, every week we read, they went through the same challenges as us. And that's the result that the Torah says, Sof davar hakol nishma. Be careful. Why shouldn't? Why should I have self-experience? No, I want to say it. I want to do it. They already did it and they're telling us the result. Just go and buy a pill, Tylenol, and that's it. You will be saved. Kelalo shel davar, page 64. Sarich ha'adam liyot mitbonen b'sichlo tamid, b'chol zaman, b'zman kavua lo, בהתבודדות. The sum of the matter is a person must contemplate in his mind constantly at all times. And additionally, during the time that he has set aside for solitary reflection, התבודדות, self-improvement, self-awareness. מהו הדרך האמיתי לפי חוק התורה שהאדם צריך ללך בו? The only constitution, the only book of law and life that I have to check and follow to see what is the right way to do in life is only Torah. Mahu haderech ha'amiti, what is the true direction? Lefi chok haTorah she'adam tzarich lelech bo. So why should I stay away or separate myself from Torah and then say what I'm going to do? Hashem already gave us the source, Torah, to know what to do. So in other words, without Torah, there is no zehirut. I cannot be zehirut only based on my own logic. I cannot be vigilant or careful only based on my own senses, 5 senses, which Hashem has given me. I have to use the guidance of Torah. That's why every day we have a part of Parashat Shavua that we learn. This way, Hashem, through Torah, is guiding us which direction we have to do and what's the right thing to do. In other words, the best way that you could learn Parashat Shavua to apply each parashat to your personal life. Don't just read Moshe. Read it as yourself, as if you are the one in the picture, in the scenario, that now you have to handle the situation. For example, how many Makot, Paro, and Misraim had to go through Yesiat Misraim in order to let Bnei Israel leave? How many Makot? Eser Makot. Eser Makot. Have you ever thought how many Makot me and you went through life and we didn't get the lesson? Isn't it the same Misraim we have in our own life in this past or coming 120 years, a span that Hashem has given us? Same thing. Time to time, Hashem give us chances, give us certain challenges just to wake up. But something which happened to Misraim and to Paro happens to us too. What was Paro's problem that he couldn't give in? What? Hartume Misraim. Because whatever he wanted to do, and he wanted to give in and to believe in Hashem's power, Hartume Misraim, his doctors also would have said, we could do it too. We could change the water to blood. We could bring Sephardia from Nile. We could do it too. Oh, so we could do it too. Then I shouldn't give in. I shouldn't follow Hashem. I shouldn't believe in Hashem power. It's gonna go away. Hartume Misraim, the logical reasons that we bring to ourselves, that you know what? Not necessarily is my fault. Not necessarily I'm wrong. Not necessarily I have to follow Chok Torah, the rules and regulation of Torah. I could live without it. as long as I have a good car, good company, good reputation, as long as I'm okay, I shouldn't follow what the Torah is telling me. Hok Torah is not telling me what to do. My logic tells me, Hartume Misraim. And that's why we lose our Heshbon HaNefesh. And we can, if we get to the point that we can't think really more than that, we hire attorney. Our attorney, Hartume Misraim, will fight for us. Why should I regret? Why should I do teshuvah? Why should I set back? I hire attorney, more powerful. I pay more money until I win. Even though I lose my dignity, but I win. And this is what the Torah Ramchal is telling us. Don't follow other than Hok Torah. Otherwise, you never will have Heshbon HaNefesh. You're going to be sinking in your wrong ideas and you're never going to wake up. Imagine Bnei Israel. For the first time after 210 years, they heard, oh, wow, blood all over Mitzrayim, no water to drink. And Paro already gave him, and we're going to leave tomorrow. They packed all the suitcases. No more suitcase in any shopping center. Everything sold out. They packed all their suitcases. Next day, the news come. CNN, Paro changed his mind. Oh, we thought we were living. I said so. Moshe Rabbeinu cannot overcome or fight with superpower of the time, Paro and Misraim. No, just you, the team. You want to say Torah, this, that. You don't see what the big attorney lawyers they have. They are, is a government. How can you? So they said, we knew about it. Torah does not have power. Next Makkah again, next week, CNN is going to be Sephardia all over. And you surprisingly hear Paro again gave in and visa for everyone to leave. Again, they packed their suitcase. Again, next day, Paro change of mind. How many times can you give credit to Torah? 9 times. They see Torah couldn't win. Moshe Rabbeinu was getting played with Paro. And definitely after 9 times, you say, this Paro is not going to give in. They're going to stay. We lost. Why we lost our situation with them? Why we even bother? Let us have our own life. 80%, they thought that and they stayed in Mitzrayim. They said, no way Torah will win. 9 times. Only those 20% who believed the last time, which is Makat Bechorot, they win. This is the nisayon of life. This is a cheshbon hanefesh that you have in life. Who is the final winner? Torah, Hok Torah, or logic, human decision? We were Moshe Shabbat in Abu Dubanim in Kollel, and Rabbi Malka, in the name of someone, says a story which my kids said they heard it also before. Very unbelievable, big message. Was a yeshiva, I think, in Brooklyn, which at recess kids used to come in playground, play, and it was exposed to the street intersection. No, gated, but was open. The problem was, across the street of that yeshiva was a billboard with not such a proper picture or writing reserved for the yeshiva boys. So every time a Sephardi guy who was driving from that street, looking at yeshiva boys, kids, innocent, playing in the playground, and they have to see this billboard here, nasty, not pure. Finally, he made his mind and he called the billboard company, the advertisement company. He says, excuse me, is this billboard advertisement belongs to you in that street address? They said, yes. They said, I want you down today. I said, why? Because we have a religious school, Jewish school, and kids, innocent, is not fair to them from beginning childhood to see these pictures and this improper billboard. So I want you to take it down today. He says, well, listen, someone paid for it. It's not us. The advertising, another company. He said, okay, I pay you too. Oh, you pay me too? No problem. He said, how much is it? He said, $1,000 a day. $1,000 a day. Well, let me get you back. So he thinks for few minutes and calls him back and said, listen, I got 90,000. I could pay you up to 90 days. But in one condition, you take the ad down today. He said, no problem. Information, back account, this, that. The ad comes down next day. Next day, after a few days, the company calls him, listen, blank billboard over there, you're paying it anyway. You want to put something? He said, maybe I'll put a pasuk, my business card, this, that. He said, let me get back to you. After he calls him and said, you know what? I know what I'm going to put. He said, what? I'm going to put a timer. I'm going to put a timer, then countdown. Every day, go down one number. So he said, today is already 3 days past. We are on the 87 days. Okay, start the timer from 87. By the time they hang it is already 85 days. People passing by here, they see today, okay, 85. Next day, 84. Next week, 80. Following month, 60. People get curious, what is the billboard is going to end up when it's once already zero? What's going to be? What's going to be revealed? And starting news, people looking at, showing, take pictures, sharing, until 4 days before. On the fourth day, the company calls the guy, says, excuse me, is this billboard yours, the ad? He says, yes. He says, we were interested to buy the right of the final day when it gets to the zero. He says, who are you? He says, we are from Coca-Cola. He says, okay, what's your offer? He said, $3 million. He says, deal. The thing is, cheshbon hanefesh. You look at the Chok Torah. Whatever Torah says, logically, definitely, I don't know if I was in a level of madrega to pay $90,000 for a billboard. But he was in such a emunah, I have to do it no matter what. And he did it. Hashem says, you did it with the full intention, temimut, here, $3 million. I'm sure even though he was not getting $3 million, at least he had something, you know what? For 3 months, for 90 days, billboard was not there. He was not expecting any money. This is what Heshbon HaNefesh means, with no expectation. I see what is right. Chok Torah is telling me to do now. Oh, I'm going to be millionaire later on. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be this. What can I do now? Heshbon HaNefesh. ואחר כך יבוא להתבונן על מעשיו, אם הם על הדרך הזה, אם לא. Page 64. Unless I don't have a source to check with, to know what is Hoka Torah, I cannot have a right zehirut. I cannot have a hishbon hanefesh. Once I know mahu haderech ha'amiti lefi Hoka Torah she'adam sarich leilech bo, v'achar kach, then yavo leitvonen. Now I'm going to compare al ma'asav with my action, my life. Imhem al haderech hazim lo. Unless I don't have a ruler, I cannot measure anything. First, I have to have a ruler. I have to know what is Hoka Torah. Then I could be Zahir. Then I could have Cheshvan HaNefesh. כי על ידי זה ודאי שאילו נקל ליטאי מכל רע וליישר כל דרכיו. Because through this way, definitely, it would be easier for him litaher, to stay pure, mikol ra, from any evil or bad, uliyashir kol derachav, and to straighten his ways. But unless there is no knowledge of Torah, there is no limud Torah, there is no Hoka Torah in my mind, I cannot have Cheshbon HaNefesh. That's why we have Lilmod Ulamed. Then we have Lishmor Ulasot. First, Lilmod Ulamed, every Wednesday morning, to go to Rabbi Bakhshi class. Then Lishmor Ulasot. Then you are aware of from where to start, what is a Chokat Torah, what is my responsibility, what is my Cheshbon HaNefesh, what are the criteria and factors which I have to consider and to evaluate. וכמו שכתוב אומר, פלס מעגל רגליך, בכל דרכיך ייכונו. It says in Mishle that what? Wait the course of your foot, okay, and all of your ways will be proper. First, your feet. מעגל רגלך. اول پاتو خوب رو زمین بذار، بعد میتونی خوب راه بری. ولی اگر پاتو کج بذاری رو زمین، راه رفتن هم اشکال. و عمر نحبس دراخینو، it says in Echa, و نحکورا و ناشوب عدشم. Before I nashuva ad Hashem, before I go back to Hashem, I get close to Hashem. First, when nahkora, I have to do my research. Before when nahkora, I have to do nachpesad rachenu. I have to see where I'm standing. Let us search and examine our ways and return to Hashem.
Say Naseh Nishma. Does Naseh Nishma do this?
Naseh. First, I do it no matter what. Then when Nishma, I come and see what is the logic behind it. But as long as I know this pill is Tylenol, this is good for headache, for fever, or for something, first I take it. First, I do Chokat Torah. I don't question. I learn, I study, I use the ruler of Torah. Then, Nishma, I come and sit to see what are the sod, what are the secret of it. Nishma. But everything starts first with our accepting and obeying Chokat Torah. We have to have a base to rely on in order to have a good start. Like any spaceship, you need a platform in order to jump even to the sky. But you need a platform. You have to have a base. And our platform is Hukat Torah. This is what Ramchal is saying. So in other words, unless I don't follow Torah, I'm not following the instruction of life. And this is going to cause, unfortunately, so many personal galuyot and galuyot in general. Is called galut prati and galut kalali. Moshe Rabbeinu only gave them galut or geula kalali as a communal, as a general geula. But Am Yisrael, they were the one, they had to relieve themselves, let it go, to accept the Torah, to build emunah in Hashem, that no matter what, after 9 times, Sheva Yipol Sadiq Vekam, still it has a hope that Sof Davar, at the end, Torah is the winner, not whatever we see as an advertisement from different directions. May Hashem help us to have it day by day in our life, and Bezrat Hashem to be a good role model for our next generation as well, Bezrat Hashem. So hopefully, Belineder, next week, we're gonna start the 4th perek, which is gonna be Bederech Kniyat HaZehirut, how to acquire Zehirut. So far, we discussed the elements of Zehirut. What are the steps? What are the components? What are the essence? What is the essence of Zehirut? So Bezrat Hashem, we're gonna start Kinyan as Zehirut. So don't forget to bring your eyeglasses. Baruch Hashem La'olam. Amen.